अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। कस्तूरीतिलकं ललाटे पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणि। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षणे यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रणोति तस्मै तद्ध्वं हदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। आदरणीय पंडितगण, प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, महानुभाव, revered पंडित्स, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Divine Source. First, let me say Radhe Radhe to each and everyone, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to all of you. Today we had, I don't know if I'm saying this correct, Umbango temple. It's a pleasure to be here, first time. I did visit before in my last visit, but didn't do any program. As customary, we'll join in chanting some glories of the Lord, and then we'll have some talk and try to finish in time. In the booklets you have, turn to page 25. राधे राधे गोविंदा भजो, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे राधे Radhe Radhe Govinda. दो चकोर है, दो है चंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा भज, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे राधे। भज मन युगल चरण अरविंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। भज भज बेर न करुमति मंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा भज, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे। युगल चरण को मनहु मिलता, राधे राधे गोविंदा। विभु दो चरण कमल मकरंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा भज, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे। तज छल छंदा भजमति मंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। विहरत दो वृंदावन चंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। राधे राधे गोविंदा भज, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे। हरि गुरु दो एक मति मंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। तेरी गति मति रति मति मंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। जो कृपालु है अतिमति मंता, राधे राधे गोविंदा। ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा। राधे राधे गोविंदा भजो, राधे राधे गोविंदा। ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा भजो, राधे राधे गोविंदा। राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे। ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे राधे गोविंदा, राधे। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। अब सावधान हो जाइए। Let's now try to be very attentive and listen carefully. The scriptures say, जाते कछु निज स्वार्थ होई, तापर ममता करे सब कोई। सुर नर मुनि सब कह यह रीति, स्वार्थ लागी करहि सब प्रीति। In the Tulsi Kirtramai, Tulsidas Maharaj said, our attachment is directly proportional to how much our selfishness is satisfied. The more outward love and affection we get in the world, the greater is the selfishness involved. If someone can do what we want, they do what we want, they give us what we want, they fulfill our selfishness, I love you. Father says to the child, my son, please bring me a glass of water. And the child runs and brings a glass of water. Oh, Shabas, what a wonderful child. I have Shravan Kumar, an angel for a son. Devata. A little while afterwards, the father says to the child, the same son, my son, can you bring my slippers? Chappal le aao. And the child continues sitting. Hey, did you hear I said to go and bring my chappal, my slippers? He still sits. Ramesh, I'm telling you to bring my chappal and my slippers and you're not bringing it. My God, I have a Rakshas for a son. A little while ago, when he fulfilled the selfishness, he was an angel, Shravan Kumar. And now because he didn't do what the father wanted, he didn't fulfill the selfishness, he's become a Rakshas, demonic soul. This is what we call love and hate in the world. Our attachment, our affection for any person is directly proportional to how much the person fulfills our selfishness. We are all selfish. Sarva swartam samihate. The scripture says everyone is selfish. We all are Maya. We don't think so. Nobody likes to hear that. Are you selfish? No. Are you a saint? No. Then you're selfish. Yeah, but I don't like to hear that. As long as you're not Maya. So our attachment is directly proportional to how much anyone satisfies or fulfills our selfishness. And this attachment is the source of an incurable disease. What is this disease called? Kamana, desires. Desire is the greatest disease in the mind. We have many diseases, Manasa Roga, it's called, in the mind. And the greatest one is Kamana, desire. If a person can give up desire, all desires, he will have nothing else to do. He would have attained everything. He doesn't have to do any jnana, any bhakti, any yoga, anything. Any karma. In Bhagavad Mahapuran, God descended as Nisim Bhagwan, half man, half lion, to kill Rakshas, Hiranyakashipu. After killing Hiranyakashipu, to save his devotee Prahlad, the Lord put Prahlad to sit on his lap and said, "My son, Baram Bruhi, ask me for a boon." Prahlad said, "My Lord, मैं बनिक नहीं हूँ. I'm not a businessman. The first you'll have to give me something and then I will pray to you, then I will love you. I'm not selfish. मैं दास हूँ, I'm a servant. If a servant has a desire from the master, then where's my servitude? I'm no longer a das. Bhagavan says, okay, don't give me all this lecture. It's my nature, the Lord said, that whenever I meet a devotee, I tell him to ask me for something. Not a nature, it's my nature. So how? So you should also ask. So Prahlad said, okay. Prahlad then asks, Yadiramisha me kaman varanstam vardarshava kamanam hridya sandoham bhavatastu vrine varam. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7th canto, 10th chapter, 7th verse. Prahlad said, my Lord, if you insist in telling me that I should ask for a boon, then give me the boon that my desire to ever ask you for anything will be destroyed forever. Let me never ask you for anything. What a wonderful answer. We people, we ask for this, we ask for that, thinking God is going to satisfy my desire, and the day He doesn't satisfy my desire, we become an atheist. We stop believing in God. It's very dangerous. But Bhagavan said, Beta, Prahlad, why is this ask so dangerous? So Prahlad said, my Lord, you don't know. I know. I'm Bhagavan. But your answer will help the worldly souls. Prahlad answered and said, Indriyani manahaprana atma dharmo titirmati hi shri tejas smritil satyam Yasya Nashyanti Janmana. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7th Canto, 10th chapter, 8th verse. Prahlad is saying, the birth of a single desire in our mind causes harm to so many things. The energy of the senses, Indriya. The energy of the mind, Man. The energy of the Pran, the life force. And the energy of Atma, the soul. These are the four main pillars. Other things get harmed also. Righteousness, patience, reasoning, modesty, self-esteem, and even knowledge of the scriptures. Knowledge. I know Gita, I know Puran, I know some Ved mantra. Practical knowledge gets destroyed. Practical realization gets destroyed. Desire makes a person a beggar, bhikari. Desire for wealth makes him bow to the wishes of a rich man. Desire for a woman makes him bow to the wishes of a woman. Vice versa. And desires are only five. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. 5. Shabd, desire to touch, to feel. Touch Bhagwan? No. Touch a saint? No. Shabd. Shabd, desire to hear. Sunne ka, to hear. To hear Bhagavad, to hear divine philosophy. Dekho, do cheese, there are two things. One is a Gram Katha and one is a Ram Katha. One is to listen to divine discourse, to listen about the Lord, the glories of the divine philosophy. And one is to listen to Gram Katha, to listen to worldly things, gossip, sensual things, politics, fight and quarrel. That is very sweet for some of us. To hear about God and divine philosophy, we become very bored. It has to do with the condition of the mind. So Shabd, Sparsh, touch, feel. Roop, desire to see. How much happiness we get in looking at the Murti of Bhagwan, at the picture of Bhagwan, the saints, as compared to looking at people in the world, the soap opera, etc., the movie star. Ras, desire to taste prasad, sattvic food, or to taste the one is going to harm your body. Gandh, desire to smell. We have only 5 sense organs. And desires of these 5 sense organs. We cannot have a sixth desire. These desires are very powerful. A person of uncontrolled senses cannot resist the desire for carnal desires, and he falls into the greatest darkness. Kuranga matanga patanga bringa Meenahata panchabhireva pancha Eka pramadi sakatham nahanyate Yasevate panchabhireva pancha. Sukti. There's a thing called a moth. It's attracted by light, fire. The moth's desire for light causes it to fall in the flame and die. The deer's desire for song. The hunter plays the flute, the deer gets attracted and he kills the deer. It causes its death. The bee succumbs to the desire for sweet smell. It goes into the lotus flower. Eventually the lotus flower closes and the bee dies. The fish's desire for taste gets caught on the hook, and the elephant meets its end owing to the desire for a she-elephant. These poor innocent creatures meet their end, trying to satisfy the desire related to one sense organ. What then shall be the deplorable state of a person who is ravaged and tormented by all the five sensual desires? Bhagavan Krishna says to Uddhav in Bhagavad Mahapuran, Jivai gatum apakarshati karhitarsha Shishno nyatastha gudaram shravanam kutaschit Grano nyatashta paladrikvacha karma shaktir Bahavya sapatya hivageha patim lunanti. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11th canto, 9th chapter, 27th verse. Bhagavan Shri Krishna compares the five sensual desires, the five senses in us, to five wives of a man, Patni. A man has five wives. Just as each wife will try her level best to attract and possess the husband to herself, in the same way, each desire tries to capture the heart to itself, thereby leading to that person's complete ruin and degradation. This is why desire is told to be the greatest disease of the mind. You may say, I don't agree. Krodh, anger, is more dangerous than desire. If a person gets angry, there's no telling what he will do. Break the wife's head, break the husband's head, beat the children, break the television. And then there's also greed, which is greater than desire. If a person gets a desire, he'll be restless for a little while, then he'll be okay. But listen carefully. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmanah tushtah sthita pragyasta dochyate. Gita, chapter 2, verse 55, Gita. In the Gita, Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, if a person can give up all desires, prajahati yada kaman, he would have attained everything. The ultimate aim of life. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumanshtarati nispriha nirmamo nirahankara sashanti madhi gacchati. Gita, chapter 2, verse 71. If a person would give up all desires, he would have attained supreme peace, shanti, the ultimate aim of life. Yavar bhriyet jatharam tavat sattva videhinam adhikam yobhimanyet sastena dannamarhati. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7th canto, 14th chapter, 8th verse. The Bhagavad says, he who stores and keeps more than is necessary to upkeep himself and his family. We are only supposed to keep that amount which is necessary to upkeep ourselves and the family. He who does more than that, Bhagavad is saying, he is a thief. Sustaina means chor, thief. And Dandamarhati is going to get double punishment when you die. Bhaji Ram Sab Kama Vihai. Tulsi Ramayana. Worship the Lord, give up all desires. So the desires have been stressed everywhere. Gita, Bhagavad, Ramayana, everywhere. Prahlad continues to say to Bhagavan, Nisim Bhagavan, he says, Vimunchati yada kaman manavo manasisthitan tahyeva pundarikaksha bhagavattvaya kalpate. 7th Canto, 10th chapter, 9th verse. Prahlad says, if a person can give up all desires, what to say about becoming a saint? He will become Bhagavan, God. Bhagavattvaya kalpate. But why is desire so dangerous? The root cause of all ills and evil. What about greed and anger? In the Ramayana, there's a very famous katha, Sapta Prashna. Kag Vasundaji was asked 7 questions, very important questions, by Garuji Maharaj. One of the questions was about diseases of the mind, Manasa Roga. He told many, but he told these 3 big ones. He said, Kam Bad Kap Lobha Apara Krodha Pitta Nit Chhati Jara Preeti Karahi Jauti Nehu Bhai Upajai Sanya Pat Dukhadai. He's called Kam, lust, desire, Krodh, anger, lobh. Teen Bhai, 3 brothers, that destroys us. One who cultivates these 3 desires, lust, krodh, anger, greed, lobh. Upajai Sanya Bhat Dukhadai is going to completely destroy themselves. In the Vedas, these are called Narak Ketin, is a 3 doorways to Narak, to hell. So what about krodh, anger and lobh? Why desire only? Well, the mother, the root cause of anger, krodh, as well as lobh, greed, is desire. Kamat krodho bhijayate, Gita, chapter 2, verse 62, Gita. Look, a desire cannot, when you get a desire, you want something, a desire for someone, for something, that desire can either be fulfilled or remain unfulfilled. 2 things can happen. Now when a desire is fulfilled, what happens? It gives rise to greed, lobh, which is ever increasing and insatiable. The Bhagavad says, Na jatu kamaha kamanam upabhogena shamyati havishya krishna varmeva bhuya eva vivardhate. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 9th Canto, 19th chapter, 14th verse. The Bhagavad Mahapuran says, trying to satisfy a desire is like pouring ghee, fuel into fire. People do havan. When you do havan, what do? You pour pure cow ghee, cattle butter in the fire. Indraya Namah Swaha, Agnaye Namah Swaha. When you pour the ghee into the fire, what happens? Temporarily, when you just pour it, temporarily the fire goes down. And then after, it gets bigger. In the same way, when we satisfy a desire in the world, temporarily, somebody has a desire to eat ice cream. So you buy a whole tub of ice cream and you eat the whole tub. I don't want ice cream anymore right now. Tomorrow, I want more ice cream. The desire only increases. It gets bigger and bigger. And when the desire cannot be fulfilled, when we don't get what we want, someone doesn't listen to us, what happens? We get angry, krodh. And what happens when anger comes in the mind? Krodhar bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibrama smritibanshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. Gita chapter 2 verse 63. From anger comes delusion. From delusion, loss of memory. When we lose our memory, we lose the power to discriminate and everything is destroyed. So whether desire is fulfilled or it remains unfulfilled, both are dangerous. Now, does desire have a root cause? A mother? If we can find the root cause of desire and destroy it, then we no longer have greed, anger, jealousy, desire, or any other mental disease. Look, if you build a house and there's a tree growing close to the house, a huge tree, eventually it's going to interfere with the foundation, the roots. So you have to destroy the tree. What do? Do you go and clip the branches? No, you attack the root of the tree to destroy it completely. In the same way, there was one reason, one cause for desires, and that is asakti. Asakti, lagav, attachment. Look, you people have been here sitting a little while, half an hour is gone. Somebody may be thinking, oh, he's going to talk the whole night. If I get a cup of coffee, a cup of chai, I'll be alright. Somebody thinks if I get a cigarette, I'll be okay. Then you can keep talking. Because of these people's attachment to that object, the desire for it is born again and again at interval. It keeps pinching. Drink me, smoke me. And the more we use something, the more we want it. If somebody drinks only 1 cup of coffee or 1 cup of chai, it's okay, every day. But somebody drinks a lot of chai, 10 cup, 12 cup, ooh. If they don't get it in their mouth, they go crazy. And somebody never drink chai, never drink coffee, doesn't have any worry. Let's look at another way. Is there pleasure, happiness, pleasure in sweet smells, perfume, rose, sweet smelling flower? Yes. In rotten smelling, bad smelling thing? A rotten animal? No. Now, does alcohol smell good or it smells bad? Oh, it smells very bad. But if you ask an alcoholic, someone who loves to drink alcohol, oh man. A child's nose is running. The mother in her love kisses the child right where the nose is running. Another person looks on and thinks, oh my God, how can she not scorn the child? A person attached in love finds sweet smell where there's bad smell and beauty where there is none, where there's ugliness. Let's look at another way, in an example. There's a very poor beggar woman. She goes, there's a big fair, Mela, fair. And she takes her son and goes to the fair. Somehow she loses the child in the fair. Unable to find the child, her son, she goes to the police booth and tells the policeman, I have lost my son in the fair. The policeman asks the beggar woman, please describe what your son looks like. She describes the child as being extremely ugly, having a cut in the lip, one eye, lame. The policemen, now in that police booth, there are a lot of other children that has been lost in the fair. So the policeman says to her, "Oh lady, there are so many beautiful children here. Come, embrace one and get some happiness. Your son is so ugly." The beggar woman says, "Oh policeman, what do you know? I will only be able to eat my food when I see that one-eyed child of mine. If there is happiness and beauty, then that beggar woman seen so many handsome, beautiful children should have embraced one and gotten happiness. But she doesn't want beauty. She wants her one-eyed child, ugly child." So, where there is attachment, only upon attaining that person or object is pleasure derived, and this attachment is the source of all desires. Kamana. Dhyayato vishayan pulsa sangaste pajayate sangasanjayate kama kama krodho bhijayate. Gita, chapter 2, verse 62. So number 1, attachment. Then comes number 2, desire. Then number 3, if a desire is fulfilled, lobe, greed. And if it's unfulfilled, anger, growth. Now, does attachment have a root cause? An origin? Look, if somebody is sick, first you try to find a reason for the sickness, whether he has COVID or just the flu. You don't just start giving medicine. You try to find out the reason, the cause of the sickness, and then treat it. And also, our attachment varies from person to person. We're not all attached to the same thing or same person. Shri Krishna gives the answer in the Gita, the root cause of attachment. We'll hear about it, we'll do a little bhajan, and then we will hear about that. So in the books you have, again, page 16. Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Shri O Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Gao Chin Chin Naam Radhe Gao Chin Dhyawo Chin Chin Rup Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Dhyawo Chin Agati ki gati tu hi Radhe Agati Tohi taji kit jaau Radhe Shri Radhe 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 O Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe 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 अब न छोड़ू पाछा तेरा राधे, अब न छोड़। प्यार करे या मारे मोही राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। ओ राधे राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। माया वश में तो भूला राधे, माया तूने काहे भुलाया मोही राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। भुलाया मोही राधे, श्री राधे राधे। ओ राधे राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। अस वरदे मोही राधे, अस वरदे। तो सो कभू कछु मांगू नहीं, श्री राधे राधे राधे। वेद देता ब्रह्म सो, पायो नहीं तव पार राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। ओ राधे राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। राधे राधे मेरा बल तेरा नाम राधे, मेरा बल। काऊ दिन आना होगा तो ही राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। हो कृपाल कुभूत भर, कुभूत जगत बहु। हो कृपाल कुभूत जगत, ओ हो कृपाल कुभूत जगत बहु। हो कुमाता न जगहु राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। हो कुमाता न जगहु, श्री राधे राधे राधे, श्री राधे राधे। ओ 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 श्री राधे राधे राधे, श्री राधे। ओ राधे राधे, श्री राधे राधे राधे। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Yes, so now let's see if we can find a root cause for attachment. This is the root cause of all desires. If you can find that and finish it, then all problem is done. The answer Shri Krishna gives in Gita. The Gita verse I just gave, chapter 2, verse 62. The first line. Dhyayatu vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate. Chapter 2, verse 62, the first line. Shri Krishna is saying, when we think again and again, listen carefully, when we think again and again that we can find happiness in any person or object, we get attached. some simple example. Nobody is born a chain smoker. Nobody is born a chain smoker. In our childhood, we see someone smoking cigarette. Mother, father, friend, neighbor, somebody, and we think, oh, it's a sign of being big. I want to smoke too. We decide to hide and take a smoke. On smoking the first cigarette, we cough and almost choke on it. But we keep smoking because we think it's going to bring us happiness, and then we get addicted. We can't let it go. Nobody is born an alcoholic. Again, in our childhood, we see people drinking alcohol. Could be a brother, sister, mother, father, friend, somebody. And we decide to drink also. So we hide and take a drink. On taking the first drink, the head spin a little bit. We get a little bigger. Then we start going with the friends every Friday to the club. Long ago, only boys used to go, man. Nowadays, ladies are going more. Clubbing. So every Friday, then every Monday and Friday, then every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, then every day. Now we're in alcohol. How do we fall in love with somebody in the world? People say, I fell in love. Nobody falls in love. A boy sees a girl sees a boy. And they start thinking, that's the boy going to make me happy, that's the girl. And you think about the person very subtly in the mind again and again. This is the boy, this is the girl. You then we think, oh, I'm in love. Not to the point you can't even food, you don't want to see food, you can't sleep. So it's a thinking again and again. That constant revision in the mind that this person, this object is going to bring me happiness, make me happy, which makes us attached. Now, why do we constantly presume any person or object to be a source of happiness? Does this also have a reason? Yeah. We have to go to the very end where there's no more question. This is the greatness of Sanatana Dharma. It gives us all the answer. You see, first to begin, most of us don't know who we are. I don't know who I am. I am Ramesh. I am Mala. That's your name. You know the name. Who are you? Oh, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, garbage man. That's your job, work. I'm not asking what's your work, I'm asking who are you? Oh, I'm a South African, I'm a Tamil, I'm an Indian, hey, that's your nationality. I'm not asking which country you belong to. I'm asking who are you? Oh, I'm a Brahmin, I'm a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jain. That's your religious denomination. I'm not asking which religion you belong to. I'm asking who are you? I'm a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. I'm not asking which caste you belong to. I'm asking who are you? Bhaiya, who are you? Oh, I'm a human being. Human being? By looking at us, we can see we have the body of a human being and not a dog or a donkey or a cat. But this body belongs to me, to us. And whatever belongs to me cannot be me. Just as we say, this is my house, this is my motor car, but I never say I am the house, I am the motor car. In the same way, this body belongs to me. We say my head is hurting me, my body is pain in my body. It means I am not the body. Then what am I? I'm something called soul, Atma, Jivatma, many names. The soul, Atma. And the soul is a fraction of God, eternal fraction. Shri Krishna says in the Gita, Mamaevansho jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatana. Chapter 15 verse 7 Gita. The Jivatma, the individual souls, are eternal part, fraction of me. Eternal. Chinmatam Sri Hariransham Suksham Aksharam Avyam Krishna Dhinamite Praho Jivam Jnana Gunashrayam Ve. The Vedas are saying the Jivatma, the soul, is a part, a fraction of God. And it's a natural law that every part, every fraction has a natural love for the whole and wants to become one with it. All rivers naturally flow to the ocean, being a fraction of the ocean. If you look at the flame of a fire, it naturally rises upwards, being a fraction of the sun. In the same way, we, the individual soul, being an eternal fraction of God, Shri Krishna, naturally love and want only God, only Shri Krishna. Valmiki ji says in the Valmiki Ramayana, Loke nahi savidyet yo narama manubrataha. It's impossible to find an individual soul that does not truly love and want only God. Yam sarve devanamanti mumukshavo brahmavadinascha. Ved say the same thing. We all want and love only God. Sounds strange. No, it's not strange. Why? What is God? Who is God? I'm not going to go into great detail this time. Time won't allow me. The Vedas give the answer. Raso vai sahara sagvam evayam labdva nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad chapter 2 verse 7. The Vedas say God is ras, bliss, anand, happiness. Anando brahmeti vajanat. Taittiriya Upanishad chapter 3 verse 6. Many Ved mantras. In other words, God is happiness, bliss. In other words, whenever we say God, any name, Shri Krishna, Ram, Shiva, any name, God. Or we say bliss, happiness, these are two names for one and the same entity. We all want happiness, don't we? Is there anyone here or any person? A person says, I don't believe in God, I'm an atheist. Okay, you're an atheist, Gnostic. Do you want pain and suffering? No. The moment we get a little pain, oh, please give me Advil, Tylenol, painkiller. It's not our nature. You want happiness, peace? Yes, yes, yes. Then you want God. Don't call him God, call him happiness. That's his name. You don't want to use the word God, fine. Shri Krishna, fine. Say happiness. So everyone wants happiness. That's why we all want and love only God. It's our nature to want happiness. Every action we have performed from beginningless time, we, the soul, Jivatma, is eternal, beginningless. Gyagyo dvavaja visha nisha vaja yeka bhokti bhogyata yukta anantaschatma vishwarupo yakarta tayam yada vindate brahma me tat. Shveta Shrutra Upanishad chapter 1 verse 9. The Vedas say both God, the supreme Brahman, and Jivatma, the individual soul, are Aj. Aj. Aj means unborn, eternal, beginningless. Uncountable lifetimes of God. And we've all been searching for happiness. Every action we perform. But we have not found even the tiniest drop, even once, even in a dream. Because we're looking in the wrong place, where it cannot be found. Nobody has been able to convince us that the happiness we're looking for we'll find only in God. So until and unless we find true lasting happiness, we have to perform action. And every action we perform is for one thing only, happiness, sukha, anand. This nature of ours to want happiness, no one can destroy. Neither God, nor a saint, nor a rakshas, nor a man, no one. But if we continue looking for happiness in the material world, as we have been doing from time infinity, we will never be satisfied. If somehow this decision can be changed in our mind, and this is where the work of the saint, the true Guru comes. When we associate with a true Guru, a true saint, in the Ramayana, Tulsidas says, Binu Satsang Viveka na hoi, Ram Kripa Binu Sulabha soi. Sat, son. Sat means saint, sant. One who has seen God, attained God. Shri Krishna says in Gita, chapter 4, verse 34, Jnaninaha Tattvadarshinaha. Two conditions for Guru, for one to be Guru. Jnaninaha means he has complete knowledge, all the Vedas, all the scriptures. But even more important, Tattvadarshinaha, he's seen God, he's attained a divine vision, divine love, divine bliss for God. If we are so fortunate to meet such an entity and take shelter in him, associate in the right way, then we will get true knowledge. When we associate with the true saint, the true Guru, something happens. Our attachment for the material world, which we could not change from beginningless time, will start decreasing automatically by itself. An attachment for God will start increasing. Then we know that we are in the right association. Then we are doing Satsang, or we are doing Kusang. So only Guru, but qualified. The Vedas say, Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. Mundak Upanishad, first Mundak, second Kan, 12th mantra. Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Brahmanu Nirveda Mayan Nastakataktena Tat Vigyanartham Sagurumeva Bhigachet Samitpani Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. Mundak Upanishad, first Mundak, second Kan, 12th mantra. We have to have Guru in order to go to Bhagwan, to obtain the true happiness in life. But he has to be qualified. Two things make him Guru. Shotriya, this is what Shri Krishna is saying, Gita Jnaninaha, complete knowledge. Full complete knowledge, all the scriptures, all complete. But even more important, Brahmanishtam. Shri Krishna is saying in Gita chapter 4 verse 34, Tattvadarshinaha, one who sees God, attain the divine vision, divine knowledge, divine bliss of God. When we associate with such an entity in the right way, true knowledge, everything will happen automatically. Then the search will change. Then the knowledge will come. This thing that I am the soul, Atma, we have heard uncountable times. This Ved, this Gita, all the scriptures has been there. They're Sanatan, Ved is Sanatan. Uncountable times we have gotten human birth. Uncountable times we have read, we have heard. Nothing happened. Because we never associate with the true saint, the true Guru in the right way. We think we know everything. We don't want to hear. And we meet a saint, Abhiman, ego. That ego will not allow us to accept that he is a saint. And then we don't benefit. We in association, we have no idea. He's not going to tell us I am Guru. You have to find out. So when we associate in the right way, with the right person, this will happen. Then knowledge will come, true knowledge, that I am the soul, Atma, I'm not the body. And that the happiness I'm looking for, I'll find only in Bhagwan and God, Shri Krishna. Because another name for God is happiness, Anand, the bliss. That knowledge will come when the mind sits in the intellect. Shri Krishna says to Uddhav in Bhagavad Mahapuran, Vishayan dhyatasthittam vishayeshu visarjate mamanusmaratasthittam mayeva praviliyate. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 27th verse. Shri Krishna says, just as a person thinks again and again that they can find happiness in any person or object in the world, and we get attached to that person or object, and we attain that. Whatever we are attached, we'll attain. In the Gita, Shri Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Chapter 8, verse 6, Gita. When the life leaves the body, when we die, whatever we remember, yam yam vapi smaram. Smaram means remember. Whatever we remember at that time, that's what we go to become, where we're going to go in the next life. And what you're going to remember at that time, wherever the mind is attached, what we're attached to, what we love. So just as a person, he is attached, thinking again and again about things, objects and people in the world, we get attached, and we keep rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. In the same way, if through the association of a true guru, a true saint, the decision comes in the mind, the happiness I'm looking for, I'll find only in God, only in Shri Krishna, and I start thinking about Shri Krishna, God, again and again. The method is the same, the way of practice is the same, and the result is the same. What is the result? The heart, the mind gets attached. So if I just like I think again and again about someone in the world, something, and I get attached, and you'll attain that. You'll become that in the next life. In the same way, if I think again and again about God, about Shri Krishna, that conviction that only attaining Shri Krishna I'll attain happiness, I think again and again, I'll become attached to Shri Krishna. And what will happen? Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastatya sanshayah. Chapter 8, verse 5, Gita. Shri Krishna says, at the last moment, when the life leaves the body, if you remember God, Antakale chamameva smaran, you remember me, God, Shri Krishna, then you will certainly come to me, Arjuna. In other words, wherever our mind is attached when we leave, even while you are alive, you will see Bhagwan if you reach the ultimate aim. So, attachment to the world, very dangerous. It will keep us rotating in 8.4 million forms of life as we've been doing from uncountable lifetimes. We get attached to Bhagavan, not easy. That knowledge has to come. We can quote endless scriptures, we can give big lectures, but we are attached to the material world. Then that's where you're going to go. Mother, father, wife, husband, whoever you are attached to, that's where you're going to go. Whatever they become, you're going to go there. If they go to Bhagavan, then you go there too. If your father or mother was a saint, then you're attached. But if they're material souls in the material world and they rotate in the 8.4 million forms of life, wherever they go, you're going there. That's what we have been doing from uncountable lifetimes, rotating. This is why this knowledge is very important. I know you must be thinking this guy is teaching all this high philosophy. We would like to hear a nice little story and just be entertained. I'm not here to entertain anyone. I'm here to tell you, give you the true knowledge. Hopefully it will benefit us. Somehow we'll bring it into our life. Realize the value of this human birth. That is non-lasting. Any moment we can lose it. And we should make the best use of it. Only in the human birth we can do bhakti. We can attain the ultimate aim of life. Even devatas, celestial gods, Indra, Agni, Kuber, Vayu, they are praying for this thing we have, this human body. Durlabham manusham janma prarthyate tirashairapi Narapuran. The Devatas, those residing in heaven, they are praying and begging God, Sri Krishna, please give us birth in the human form. We don't want heaven, there is nothing there. Because only in this thing called human birth we can do bhakti. We can cross Maya, become free from Maya forever, and go to the divine abode, and we never have to come back and suffer here. There's much more. Time is very limited. I was told, please finish 8 o'clock. So I'll finish here. Some of my time we'll hear some more. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Radha Rani ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.